Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Well, my goodness, we have a full house today. Hello, it's Tuesday. You know what that means? It's Transformational Tip Tuesday, and I am so excited about it. I see Catherine, Jeanette, Alice, hello. Martha in the house, and it's just very good to be here, isn't it? It's always good when we get a chance to get together. So anyway, I'm really excited about today. Yesterday, we talked about that whole idea of focus and really honing in on this idea that our focus needs to be on point so that we can keep our brains where we want them. Today, we're going to be talking about how our vision paints the picture and how we can move the needle a little bit and understand just from the basic foundational stress point, I say, that we are enough. And starting from the place of enough, we can move into the rest of what it is that we want to accomplish. I hope you like this show. It's stuff from my journal once again. So there's our girl, Deborah. Teresa's in the house. It's so good to have you here, Teresa. And we also have our Jennifer here. So I'm glad you're here as well. You know, of course, that our Jenny is getting ready for a big surgery tomorrow. So coveted prayers. It's at 9:30 Mountain Time tomorrow morning is when it's all on, when game on. And you know what? She has got the best. Well, she's got you, she's got you. She's got the whole Saving Dinner team. She's got an amazing family, a church family. She's got everyone praying for her and wishing her only the best. I invite your prayers, okay? I invite your prayers, and I invite you to just absolutely download her with so much love and concern and care. We are wanting to see this be the beginning and the end of that story. Okay. We're not even going to mention all the things about it. We're just going to be holding that thought and that prayer. Amen. Pinkies up if you're with me. I know you are. When one of our sisters, and especially one of our close sisters, is under the gun, it gets to us. So anyway, they had to drive like 5 hours to get to Billings, and it's a big to-do. So anyway, she's in good hands, and everybody's there. So yes, pinkies up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, y'all. We're praying for her in a speedy recovery. It's not going to be fun sitting for a while, but there's other ways to do things. Maybe she'll be laying on her side, just doing a couple of things. I don't know. All right. This week, boy, do we have such a good, our June. Who's friends with June Summers? Here. Tag her. Somebody tag her and say, hey, we're using one of your quotes for the quote of the week this week in the Hot Melt Sprint group. Maybe she'll pop in. We haven't seen her in a while. But June said this. It was a while ago. And somebody on our team snagged it and said, this is a great quote. And it is. Fear tries to take us away from the gift that is the present. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? That's what fear is. It's a robber. It comes to destroy and to take away and to make things less than. And you know what? I say no to that. I say no. I am ready to have the life that I want to have, and fear is not going to direct my path. Thank you very much. How about you? I don't think so. Not on my watch anyway. We also have a supplement of the week. It is our Vibrant Body Detox. I've had some people asking me about this and saying, hey, is this okay? Can I take this if I have this condition or that condition? I'm going to tell you, this is my personal philosophy. My personal philosophy is that if you have a lot going on and you are under the care of a doctor for any kind of chronic condition, you really do need to check with them and making sure that you're not doing anything that's contraindicated. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you are not and you're in good health and you're feeling vibrant and you're just trying to add extra vibrancy, give it a try. Give it a try. Just to let you know, the dosage is 2 capsules. I take mine at night when I go to bed. This is part of my routine. I also do our proactive probiotic. That's the other thing that I take at night when I'm going to bed. And it just makes all the difference in the world because I'm giving my body something it needs to do the repair work. That's all. It's basically like handing a carpenter a tool when they're putting together your cabinets, right? How do you like that for a dumb analogy? But that's how I look at it. So I'm very grateful for this supplement. It is a killer ingredient list, and this was formulated with our formulator and me. I helped a little bit with that, but it's our own stuff, and it's really, really good. So check that out. You can find it at savingdinner.com/show. If you buy 3, we will send you the 4th one for free. So that's like having an extra month of this stuff for nothing. Good deal. Get on that. So let's talk about what I'm supposed to be talking about today. And where is my water except upstairs? I forgot. So cheers, mother hen, wherever you are. Here's to you. Let's talk about vision for just a half a second. Visions, and this is why we vision board, right? Visions can paint a picture of what it is that we're trying to express. And I will also say, just putting a little side note in there, that vision boards are fabulous for those of us who are not artsy, craftsy, that kind of a thing. We can start painting our picture. We can find the words that express some of the things in our hearts. We can find the pictures that represent the things that we want, and we can put the whole thing out there on a great big piece of poster board and look at it from time to time. One of the big words that I see on mine is transform. Another one, flash of brilliance, because that is when I see that, I don't just say, oh, flash of brilliance, whatever. I'll say flash of brilliance, yes. And then I'll turn it into a little prayer. God, help me to have a flash of brilliance here. I'm trying to overcome this obstacle, or I'm trying to figure something out. And don't you know, it kind of works, it kind of works. It's a prompt for prayer. It's a prompt for, this is what I should be thinking on. It's a prompt for us to think and focus on the goodies of the things that we want in our lives, right? It really helps. So this is just the facts, because the details of our minds can determine the direction in which we're going to be going, because that's the constant conversation, right? Right here between your ears. And we all have that inner dialogue. We also have an outer dialogue. And that's where the conflict can come in. And it's an important thing to take a look at that and maybe make a distinction. And remember this too, that out of this dialogue, there is always a response, whether it's positive or negative. Do you remember The Princess Bride? Everybody remembers that movie, right? It was such a classic. I think it's like 40 years old now, but anyway, the Princess Bride. Do you remember what the prince, how Buttercup knew it was Wesley? Do you remember that? Because whenever she said something, he would say, as you wish. Remember? That's your brain. As you wish. So when you say something that is completely out of alignment with what it is that you want, your brain is like Wesley. As you wish, right? That's why our inner dialogue is so precarious, can be precarious. So can our outer dialogue, because oftentimes what's in comes out. So make sure we remember this when we're saying things about ourselves. We don't want anything awful coming in. Anne and Debbie and Jocelyn, hi Virginia. It's so good to have everybody here. So your mind sees what you want. So to create enoughness of where you are, you need to be aware that these words are doing that for you. And when I talk about enoughness, I'm coming from the place of not only are we worthy, but we are enough just the way we are. And this is an important distinction because in order to make any kind of change in your life, you have to come from the place of I am enough and I am good enough to love myself just as I am. How many times have I told you the story of being in Lane Bryant, right? Buying clothes and getting a bra that fit and buying matching pretty panties and pretty underwear. Never spent that kind of money in my life on underwear and panties. Never bought that many clothes in my life. But it was a turning point and a half for me because it was then that I said, yes, I invest in myself as I slapped down my credit card. Yes, I love myself, to acknowledge where I am, maybe not where I want to be, but to acknowledge where I am and to be okay with that for right now because I'm enough and because I am worthy of that kind of treatment. And it changed my whole trajectory of life. And it's the beginning place. It's the launch pad. It must be like this or it will not happen. We cannot get to the place of loving ourselves by hating ourselves on the way, right? We don't love ourselves to a future self. We love ourselves today. Are you following me? Because the version of you that you see in the future, that's fine. That's a beautiful thing. It's okay. Of course it is to do that. But right now, today, where you are in the jeans that you're wearing, in whatever the scale is saying, whatever you're seeing in the mirror is enough. And I'm going to tell you what, you have a stamp of approval on your forehead, my friend, that says you are enough and that you are loved and you're dearly loved, the apple of God's eye, perfectly, wonderfully, fearfully made in the image of God himself. Here on purpose and for purpose. Just right now as you are. So let's take a look at that for right there, just starting there. And also understand too, sometimes we get to a place where we get massively affected by what other people maybe say about us. And we start thinking maybe that what they're saying is the truth that's coming out of their mouth. For example, if you get sideways about somebody talking smack about you and then you get obsessed with just thinking about, oh my gosh, they're just hurting my feelings and saying all these things, then out of our enoughness, we can step up and we can say, I'm lovable just the way I am. And that cannot be diminished by one of my friends' poor behavior and low vibe conversation in wanting to talk smack about me. What do you think of that? It transforms the conversation. Instead of putting you into a pity pool of woe, it says, okay, that happened, but in order to walk away and in order to become the woman that you want to become and be and show up as, you simply acknowledge, yes, that happened, but that doesn't diminish who I am. So what we want to do is always be creating a picture of who we are with our words. A beautiful picture of who we are with our words. Because expressing yourself well is an art form. That's what I believe. It is an art form. And it takes practice. It takes concentration. It takes being aware that we don't want to go into old patterns. We want to create new ones. So here's two types of expression that you might want to try. If we talked about this one XYZ hurt my feelings, whatever, acknowledge that to yourself. It's okay to acknowledge the hurt, not worry, oh, how can I fix it? Or what can I do differently or whatever. Just plain acknowledge. That hurt. That hurt. Sure it did. And number two, then is you have to come back to it and acknowledge it to others. So we acknowledge to ourselves and then we acknowledge to our others. So here's a good example. Maybe, your sister blew you off or forgot your birthday or whatever. You can say, I love you. You're my sister. But I was hurt that you forgot my birthday. And it doesn't need to be in a way that's a condemnation or you did always do this or you always did that. It is just simply an acknowledgement. And it's a place that can be rectified because now we've got two adults talking about something that's tender and there's an opportunity for fixing it. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I mean, we're so complex and have the ability to work our way into a situation where we are in control of our words and we can say and express what it is that we need. And when we do so, we have an opportunity to build a bridge or to build better a relationship that maybe has a little ding in it, like this. And you know what this does? It creates the space for enoughness for everyone. It does. And it keeps a vision of your inner visual learner. It keeps you clicking into, what can I do? How can I handle this? What is in my best interest? What is in the best interest of everyone? How can I love more? And it helps you to create the vision of what you want for your own wholeness. And let me give you a hint about something. When you are doing something for your own wholeness, you're giving the other person an opportunity to also be whole, to see that maybe that wasn't the best thing, or maybe I didn't handle this well. Isn't that neat? It's cool though. This is how it works. And letting go, of course, is tantamount to growth, but it's like a pressure valve and it has to be released. So we fix things that we understand. So when we understand that our brains must be given a clear picture by us, we have to express the truth, not reckless hyperbole. And let me explain what I'm talking about here. When you say, for example, oh, everything's just fine, that isn't the truth. Or you say, you always do this and you're just a terrible sister and I hate your guts, that's reckless hyperbole. But when you say something in truth and in love and confront the situation in a gentle and kind, loving way, hoping for a vision of wholeness for yourself and for your sister, there you are. You see how this whole thing melds together? It doesn't mean you're going to get the outcome you want, because that doesn't always happen. Don't you wish it would? I do. But it helps you to rebuild this foundation for yourself of being enough. Because when we're enough, we say something. We don't just stuff our feelings. This is key. Your mind will always do what it thinks, by the way, all the time. Because if you think something is off and if you think something doesn't work or whatever, then it's going to be a problem. And you want it to do so, so your vision must be worthy of the effort. Otherwise, why put all that, energy into it? So your words, my words, make pictures. Do you see the pictures in your head? I see the pictures in my head all the time. So be sharp with the detail. Make it vivid. Make it vibrant. Make it a part of who you are. See yourself in where it is that you want to go. See yourself in having a whole relationship with somebody that maybe you're having a conflict. See all of that. I call it paint by numbers, right? Because it is. And I've got 7 things that you could do to really hone in on this and land this plane. How about that? Number 1 is your conflicting beliefs will always cancel out what it is that you do. Conflicting beliefs will cancel each other out. So here's an example. I always eat healthy, and then this is a statement maybe that you've made. I eat healthy, I eat organic, I do this, I do that, and then you end up in the fast food lane or going out to dinner and just completely, putting everything on end. You know what happens with that? You're out of alignment, and those 2 things cancel each other out. Double negative. Doesn't work. It's in conflict. Number 2, repetition creates the vibrant vision, doesn't it? Have you noticed that? I love that so much. And I have one that I fall asleep with every single night. And I actually wrote it on a 3x5 card and put it under my Kleenex holder. I have a little Kleenex box with a little thing on the top because I'm fancy. but I put it underneath there. And underneath it, it says, of course, I'm waking up vibrant, excited about the day, abundant. Or something else, I'll change it up. But I start off with, of course. Because when you tell your brain, of course, your brain's going, yes, of course. So, then it starts searching, your reticular activating system starts searching for the evidence, saying, okay, let's get the stuff together so we can really put this together for her. This is what we want. It's a cool one, by the way. Do it on repeat every single day. Wake up with something and it's just a motto of your day. Like, today is going to be like the best day ever. I always write these things down. I find these little goodies and those go into my journal. They're my prompts, help me to think and keep pushing toward that vibrant vision for myself. Do you do that too? Number 3 is expectation and realization can go hand in hand. Yes, they can. If this is what you expect, then that can be part of your reality if you're walking toward it with action. Inspired action equals results, always. So expect that. And then that's going to be your reality. And then my Robin Sharma quote that I love, 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 love. What you focus on expands. What you dwell upon becomes your destiny. What are you dwelling on? Are you dwelling on the goodness in your life? Are you dwelling on the gratitude that you have for all the rich blessings that are flowing into your life? Or are you dwelling on the stuff that's just making you miserable? That becomes your destiny. Because if you're focused on that, it is going to expand. All that negative stuff, it's going to expand. It's going to fill your life with agony. And the thing is, it's like a light switch. We can turn it off and turn it on. We can. Although there will be people, I just can't and I can't. As if they're being controlled by some kind of magical puppeteer up in the clouds just saying, I'm going to make your life miserable. It's not true. It is not true. We do have the ability. And if somebody came into your house and put a gun to your head and said, I'm going to blow you up or I'm going to kill your dog or I'm going to, whatever, unless you think this certain way, unless you say these certain things, you're going to have the ability to do it. Or on the other hand, this is what Karen I can't remember her last name. It's Lowenthal, Steen, something. Lowenthal, I think is her last name. But she's fantastic. And she taught me thought ladders and all this other kind of stuff. And it's just like how your brain operates is we do not give ourselves enough credit. And we quickly fall to this whole victim mentality of I can't. When in fact we can, because if somebody did come into our house or offer us $1 million and say, I'll give you $1 million for thinking this certain way and doing these certain things, and they had ability to measure it, you would do it in a heartbeat. So that's the whole thing, is that yes, we do have this capability. We just have to remind ourselves. That's why I use 3x5 cards. It's a training. It's a daily process. It's why I wake up with my little 3x5 card and say, of course, today is going to be vibrant. Of course, I'm in control of this. Of course, I am vibrant and abundant and overflowing with joy and gratitude. I want to reinforce that stuff, not all the other garbage. It's always there. Number 5, remember, present tense I am statements, bam, those are gold. Those are the things that help to change the direction of your life. It's why we do in our, who has this? Who has the Take Back Your Life journal, right? Take Back Your Life journal. This is how we do goals, by the way. Our goals are done like this. Oh, did I mess this up? Sorry. Our goals are done with this. So you know what we do with these goals? We take our goals, we winnow them down into diluted sentences and start with I am, because we make it intentional and we make it affirmative. And I am is so powerful because that's how you're identifying. That's who you are, right? That's who you are. There's just no question about it. And that is exactly why we always want to be speaking in present tense, and we want to be using I am statements in a powerful way, because you're telling your brain what you are. Don't ever say anything negative about that, all right? Never use I am whatever. Number 4, Teresa, is what you focus on expands, and what you focus on also becomes, what you dwell on becomes your destiny. Number 6, your mind reflects back what you're thinking like a mirror. Have you noticed that? It reflects it all back. So are you miserable? You're going to get misery back. Those are your thoughts. Those are your pictures. That's what you're looking for. That's the evidence that your brain is seeking out. All the misery. And I'll give you one more hint. And this is from someone who has done this personally. When you're recounting a story and telling it, your tragic story, over and over and over again in lots of detail, and it takes a long time to tell, the more you do that, the more you relive it. The more your body's chemistry changes, the more your brain thinks this is really happening again. Because remember the concert pianist? No different between playing the piano and playing the desktop. There is no difference. So your brain doesn't understand. So keep your stories succinct and say, that story's just not worth repeating anymore. I'm done with that. I am done with that. I'm moving on, right? It's a choice. And lastly, but not least, number 7, exact words like now, not tomorrow, and will, not maybe, paint the picture. We're looking for exactness. We're looking for attract. We're looking to paint a picture that's vibrant, that is the exactness of what it is that we want later on in this life as we are working toward a goal in our I amness. And when we do this and we start using these very powerful words in ways that are intentional decisions, that we shift out of being so wishy-washy and such, I don't know, maybe, and putting things off. Because procrastination really is not making a decision at all. And it's just kind of sitting there and everything is in limbo. And I will tell you, vibrancy doesn't procrastinate. Vibrancy is here. And it is a vibe. It's a thing. It's everywhere and it's all around you when you choose it, when you decide for it. And these are 7 ways that you can do that. Because I'm going to say one more time to you, my precious sweet friend, you are so enough right now, today, where you are. You are. You're beautiful. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're here on purpose and for purpose. And you are the apple of God's eye. What you want in the future and what the vision that you want to cast, go for it. God gave you that imagination. But also understand that we have to start from that place of being enough. And you are. So be careful, little ears, what you hear. And be careful, little eyes, what you see. And be careful, little mind, what you think about. Because all of those things are transformative. And sometimes not in the way we want. So for me, my wholehearted prayer for you is that this all lands heartily into your heart and that you see it clearly. That's all I have. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that was helpful. And yesterday we talked a little about fuzzy thinking and sharpening up the focus. Today we got into creating the vision in our mind. Tomorrow, well, there's going to be some more. Join me tomorrow for Wise Women's Wednesday. Until then, have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. Peace be with you. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.